What's going on, guys? Patrick here with PatrickLongleyRealty.com, and today I wanted to go over the forbearance program because I've been getting a lot of questions from friends, family, and clients on whether they should pay their mortgage payment and maybe just use this forbearance program so that they don't have to pay it. Now, there are a lot of pros and cons, more cons really, and 3 traps that you could fall into if you go down this route. So in this video today, I'm gonna go over what those 3 traps are and why you might wanna look into the finer details before you sign up for that forbearance program. So stick around to get all the details. See you on the other side. All right, guys, so we're gonna go into the forbearance program that the CARES Act that the government has put into place and what those 3 traps are when trying to slip into this forbearance program. So before we go even into the traps, let's first discuss what the forbearance program is. What a lot of people think is that, oh, well, the forbearance program allows me to not have to pay my mortgage payment for 3 months and I can basically live for free for $0. And let me say and be the first to say that is absolutely 100% not true. You are basically pushing your payments till the 4th month, and then you're gonna have to make a balloon payment. And we're gonna go a little bit deeper into that, but I just further wanted to say you have to pay those monthly payments. Maybe not now, but you definitely are gonna have to pay it later. So let's go into what those 3 traps are. Okay, guys, so let's get into how this trap hole works, right? So a lot of people, like I mentioned before, think, oh, I don't have to make my payments for 3 months and that's it. But that's not the case at all. What's gonna happen is the bank's gonna call you, or you're gonna call the bank because you wanna set up a forbearance program, and they're gonna say, yeah, first, second, and third month, $0. You ain't gotta pay anything. But where they get you is on the 4th month. So the 4th month comes up, and guess what? You now have to pay your first, second, third, and now that 4th month of a mortgage payment, all in one lump balloon payment sum. What's crazy about this is if someone couldn't pay their first, second, or third mortgage payment, how is it gonna be possible that they're gonna be able to pay 4 mortgage payments all at once? And this is the trap you gotta watch out for, because the CARES Act does protect you that you will not get a credit dinged from missing your first, second, or third payment. Mind you, you do have to actually set up a forbearance program. You can't just stop paying and then the credit doesn't get affected. You actually do have to talk to somebody. But nonetheless, your credit doesn't get affected here, but by the 4th month, if you don't make that balloon payment, you better believe your credit's gonna get a big ding, and it might even put you into the situation where you might have to do a short sale or foreclosure, and then by that point, your credit's really gonna get shot. So this can be a really, really ugly trap that you want to avoid if possible. So, I mean, it's hard times right now, but if you can make that mortgage payment and avoid the forbearance program, I highly, highly suggest it. So where the trap really kicks in is, you know, you call the bank and you say, yeah, I'm not gonna really be able to make that 4th payment. And what they say is, don't worry about it. We'll talk about it when the 4th month comes. Just relax, stay safe, and we'll go over that when we get there. So for the next 3 months, the banks are gonna go, yeah, sure, we're not gonna charge you any fees. We're not gonna charge you any fees. We're not gonna screw your credit. You are good to go. But then that 4th month comes. And like I mentioned before, by that 4th month, all this stuff is out the window. They can charge you fees. They can screw your credit. And that's where this gets really ugly. And you're basically backed in a corner and you have to do whatever the bank gives you. And that's usually some really bad options. So let's go over what those options are. So the first option is then they can give you a 3-month or more extension. So basically they say, yeah, sure, we'll give you 3 more months. But really, is that the best situation? If you couldn't pay those last 3 or 4 payments before and an additional 3 months added on that, so you're looking at 6 or 7 months, that's a really bad situation that you probably don't want to be in, and I know I wouldn't want to be in at all. So that's really not a good option. So now let's go into option number 2. Okay, so option number 2 is the 4th month comes up and we heard them say, yeah, just give us a call on that 4th month. If you can't make the payment, we'll give you some options. Well, what are those options? The first option is a loan modification, which can be expensive and really not something you really want to do if possible. The second option they'll give you is to basically sell the property short in a short sale. And the third one is to get foreclosed on. And all of these are horrible options and very expensive. Both of them will have tons of fees and screw your credit once again. So both these options aren't good, and once again, further encompassing what this trap looks like. So that's trap number one. Okay, so let's say that, you're not in a situation where you can't use forbearance. You have to use forbearance. What can you do? Well, let me explain to you what I would do if I was in that situation. What you're gonna wanna do is right up front in that first month, you need to have these discussions so that you don't have to go down the route of taking those really bad options that the bank is offering you in month 4. So what I would do is I would blow these guys up and basically look to get a written payback agreement. And the first thing I would do is see if you can get basically an installment plan set up and say, okay, well, I can't make those 3 months or even 4-month payments. So let's break them down into 24 months and kind of slice them up and just add them to the current loan that you have right now. That would be another option. And option 2, which would be the best option, but probably really difficult to get, is to have them take those 3 or 4 months you had and have them add it to the end of the loan. Furthermore, I would make sure that you get this, and you get this all in writing. You have to get this in writing, that you won't get dinged on credit or hit with any crazy fees. So you wanna make sure you get that in writing. Very, very important. So that's trap number 1, how it works, and what I would do if you find yourself in that situation. Okay, let's go into trap number 2. So currently, check out my other video going over the mortgage crisis, but lenders are really restricting their rules and regulations on what types of loans they're giving out, what type of credit score you need to even get a loan. Jumbo loans were canceled for a bit there. It's just getting really difficult to get a loan in the first place. So imagine that you go into forbearance, and what will happen is if you get a loan and you go into forbearance, if you try to get another loan somewhere else, you will not qualify. And that's pretty obvious, because if a lender sees that you have a loan and you've gone on forbearance on that loan, why would they think that you're gonna be able to pay the second loan you got? You'd most likely go into forbearance there too, and that's too risky for them. They don't wanna lend you money that you can't pay back. So then you wouldn't qualify, and you would just really be putting yourself in a bad situation if you're at all trying to build wealth through real estate. And this is the same not only for trying to get a new loan, but also if you're trying to do a cash out, refinance, any of those things where you're trying to leverage that asset that you have, you will not be able to do that. So furthermore, screwing yourself down the line. So here's trap number 3. If you take forbearance, you are pretty much just eliminating your right to evict a tenant. So right now, you can't evict a tenant because of what's going on. But if they do something crazy, like they're tearing up the walls, or they've got all kinds of people staying there, or they're Airbnb their place when they're not supposed to be, and you take forbearance, you can't do anything about it. You can't evict that person, even if they're breaking their lease and the rules and regulations you've put in place. And even if you're just taking forbearance because you're trying to be a nice person and going, hey, you know what, they can't make their payments, I'll take forbearance so they don't have to take on that stress. But what if that person just completely flips the script on you, starts doing way illegal things that they shouldn't be doing, and you can't do anything about it because you took that forbearance? So that's trap number 3. So all in all, forbearance, yes, there's some opportunities, and certain people can take forbearance, pay it back, and it's really helping them out. But for a lot of those people, 2.9 million people who've actually filed for forbearance, I'm a little worried to see what happens in August when that 4th month comes up. And a lot of people who aren't educated in knowing how it works and what the outcome could possibly be, should be interesting to see what happens to the real estate market. Because I foresee there being, yes, I can see that the government is propping up the real estate market right now by not allowing foreclosures and short sales to happen in the next 3 to 4 months. But that 4th month comes up, should be interesting to see what happens. So anyways, guys, now you guys know what the 3 traps of forbearance are, how it works, and why I would probably try to avoid it if possible. But that's pretty much it. If you guys have any other questions, put them in the comment section down below. If you like this video, smash that like button, and I would really appreciate if you click that subscribe and bell button if you want to get more of this content directly to your inbox. So you guys have a beautiful day. I'm Patrick with PatrickLongleyRealty.com, and I'll talk to you soon. Aloha.